Hi everyone, in this section we are going to do some improvements on our app as you see on change list version 2. First, we are going to change scissor shape as it was not recognized by some devices. Choose it from here. You can also type colon scissor colon, copy it and paste it in our app. Second, exit part that is totally same with again is pointless and we have to erase it. Change elif to if, first elif to if, and some refactor on the first message because we are going to add buttons and this description is too long. 2 is done. Third part is easy as well. Now that we use this package, our bot is somehow unstoppable unless we add bot.idle that will wait for Ctrl+C to close the bot. It's about concurrency, and I don't want to open this idea, but you have to know Ctrl+C is called a signal. You also can use custom signals in some ways. Anyway, the last easy addition is some security concern about sensitive information. A variable is not a safe place to store token, as anyone may see your token that is hard-coded in your code. So we are going to use a popular approach that is independent of language called env file. We are going to install a package named python.env that you can access to that from here and install it by using pip install python -.env. I've installed it before, but you will see some different kind of message. To load env files, we need to import and use two functions. We need to import from .env, load.env that will load env files in some way, and .env values as .env to be shorter to use .env values. One for loading them and one for using them. Load.env function will load up all .env local files. So we make a local.env file, name it .env, just .env, and make a variable in that. Try to use all uppercase. It's a convention, not necessary. Copy the bot token and paste it there. Also, let's move these lines to the down to make our code cleaner. Add dispatcher to dispatcher part. Using the env function will return a dictionary with keys on the .env file. For example, bot token that we defined already in the course. Now it's time to improve our gameplay. We want to accept buttons as well, and I will explain later about deleting messages. For making buttons, we have to import two classes, inline keyboard markup and inline keyboard button. And to use them, we define a variable that will hold our keyboard, named playing keyboard. Every inline keyboard is an instance of inline keyboard markup class, and every button is an instance of inline keyboard button. We have to pass a nested list that every inner list will show a row of buttons. Here we have only one inner list and one row. Every button that we define here will be in a column. Actually, they will be next to each other in a line. Also, you need to know every button carries some callback data. We will show you what is callback data soon, but for now, we know R is short for rock, P is for paper, and S is short for scissor. Now our keyboard is ready and all of this keyboard will make something like this. How are we gonna use it? We easily pass that keyboard to reply markup argument of any send or edit message method, like this. Reply markup equal to playing keyboard. Now it's time to handle the buttons. This handler is like any other handler that takes update and context as parameters. there is a callback query object in update. If you remember, callback data of rock was lowercase r, for Caesar was lowercase s, and so on. Also, you have to answer the query. Your answer can be null or nothing, but you have to answer. If you want to see what this answer is, you can pass a string to it and run your bot after finishing this part. You definitely know how checker works from last tutorial. And as I mentioned, this query.data thing that you see here is that data every button would carry. Here you see callback data is R and callback data P and S. Let me introduce how callback query works. First, user click on a button and button will send a callback query with some data that here is rock to our server. We clicked on rock. And then server respond to Telegram, send a response to Telegram. Then Telegram decide what to do according to our response. Response will be new data that edit last message. Here we want to edit last message. We don't want to send another message with some buttons, okay? So let's edit the message. We have new text and we have to pass reply markup to it. Also, we used query.editMessage instead of ctx.bot. It has some advantages. Now we have buttons and button handler. The only gap here is somehow connecting buttons to their handler. So let's call callback query handler class. We use dispatcher.addHandler. We use callback query handler and we pass button handler to it. It will handle any callback query. Before going forward, this line is too long and I'm gonna fix it. Now let's play the game. Start the game. Caesar, paper, rock, Caesar, paper, rock, and you see the result. Now we are going to use text input. And as you see, it will send another message with same content that we have to fix it. But for now, I'm trying to get an error. So here we got an error. Error is actually speaking about message is not modified, and it's because we get rock and rock twice. Let's close the terminal and have some changes to fix these two problems. First of all, we should use context. You know that context is a store for user data maybe or bot data or keeping track of different users on our bot. So we use context.userdata. We should use this key user data and it's a dictionary. We can pass any value, any key value to it. For example, we use last message ID here. It's our definition, last message ID. You can tell last MSG ID or anything else. And we assign query.message ID to it. We will use it later. And the context will be unique for each user that is using our bot. Now let's make here a little bit cleaner. And let's grab the last message from the context. ctx.userdata, actually, excuse me, it's a dictionary with key value that is last message ID. So if there is a last message, we can edit it with ctx.editMessage text, and if there is no last message, we send a new message. So we have to pass some parameters such as chat ID and message ID that is equal to last message. We get it from context, and the text that we get from checker function, and also we should pass a reply markup to it that is equal to plain keyboard. As we spoke about it earlier, we should have a else block, and if there is a last message, if there is a last message that we have this ID, last message ID, we can edit that message, edit the last message, and if we don't have a last message, we send a new message like this, ctx.message, and we can edit it later on. Let me show you something new and interesting. Store message ID in the last message variable. It's this message ID is for this S actually, and we import a sleep function from time package, and we use it here. A sleep for 3 seconds, it's in seconds, and use ctx.bot.delete message to delete the last message. We stored the ID in message.message ID. We have it actually. And here we had a mistake. It should be message, not MSG. And also another mistake in ctx.bot.edit message text. And we can run again our app. So we type start, rock, and it is something that was before. But we type S and Caesar take in place, and after 3 seconds S will be removed, and R again will be removed. R again working, but remove after 3 seconds. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If any question, write your question down in the comment section below, and please like and share and subscribe. It motivates me to make better content for you.